San Francisco has a statue that memorializes what women that were called comfort women. These were women and girls forced into sexual slavery by the Japanese military during World War II. San Francisco has a sister city, Osaka, Japan, and over this statue, Osaka has rescinded its sisterhood, and I find that distressing.
So they're offended by the statue commemorating these women and what happened to them?
Yes, because it puts a bad light on them.
You have to own your history. And when I say that, I don't mean let's keep up the Civil War heroes statues. I'm saying that you
contrition is important.
Yeah, it's good to remember mistakes of the past. Now, it's a different thing to put up memorials that if you glamorize mistakes of the past or that, you know, gloss over them or something. And but I think it's I'm less keen to remember my history by memorializing in a positive way people who did negative things than I am a statue that actually is paying homage to victims and remembering victims.
That's exactly it. The San Francisco Comfort Woman Memorial is a symbol of the struggle faced by all women who have been and are currently forced to endure the horrors of enslavement and sex trafficking. San Francisco Mayor London Breed said in a statement, "These victims deserve our respect, and this memorial reminds us all of events and lessons we must never forget."
Sure. It's not like they're putting up the statue to show what a great thing it was. Right? I mean, that would be, in that case, they could be putting up the same statue and people could be saying, well, but it's just history. This was done. And it's like, yeah, but you don't want to romanticize, like, you know, institutionalized rape is not a good thing to commemorate.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing, which we need to unpack. I need to scroll back up here for just a second. Okay, Yoshimura, who is the mayor or something, the equivalent of Osaka, sent a letter, and he said, quote, "Unforgivable act," although the letter addressed the, quote, "unforgivable act that violated the dignity and human rights of women," unquote, it claims Japan was not the only country of, quote, "sex on the battlefield," unquote, citing other nations such as the United States, Great Britain, and Germany. Yoshimura claims that Japan's apology has been sincere enough and pointed to a 2015 agreement with South Korea where Japan gave $8.7 million to a fund that helps World War II sexual slavery victims.
I think it's a different spin, right? I mean, it's one thing, like if they were issuing a statement of condemnation against Japan today for something that was done in World War II that has been resolved. And yes, I understand what they're saying. Like, we have acknowledged it. We are ashamed of it. We have, issued apologies for it. And, that's totally fair, right? But at the same time, a statue that kind of is a, like I say, homage to the victims of it doesn't mean I'm not trying to dig in on what was done in your country in past generations. I'm not trying to put the screws to you. I'm just simply saying, let's acknowledge the pain of the people. This is there's a boundary there, right?
This is not about you.
Yeah, we're not condemning you at the current you for things done in the past. What we're doing is just commemorating the pain and what happened to these people. And he's right that other countries had situations like this and very similar. For example, I watched a documentary about the concentration camps, and there was one camp where they took some of the women prisoners and put them basically into brothels in the camp where, weirdly, it wasn't necessarily the guards who took advantage of this. It was other prisoners. So it was rewarding male prisoners by letting them go in and like rape these women. And you look at that and you're just like, there's a whole other level there of you're a victim in this camp, she's a victim in this camp. How could you do this to another victim? And yet, you know, I guess I'm gonna say that being in a concentration camp can do messed up things to your head. So I'm gonna say, okay, maybe I can't put myself in that place or whatever. But yes, these things happened, right? And they were horrific. And I don't know what that would be like to be trapped in a situation where you're literally, you know, your choice is a gas chamber or to be, you know, constantly raped. I can't even.
Yeah, I see a parallel here between Japan's behavior, if you will, and the statue, what it's trying to say, and the behavior of people who have been trying to tear down Ford, and what she was trying to say, and what victims are trying to say. They are concerned about like false accusations. It's the same sort of parallel. Well, it is really this statue and this claim, this allegation, really isn't about you.
Right.
It is about what happened and what we need to, how we need to give that voice.
Right.
And so it's these things, as I've posted on my Facebook page, I don't think things have gotten worse. I think it's just getting exposed. We're finally seeing things more clearly, more often, simply because we have the media formats to do that. Excuse me. And in the thing that I posted, and I have it as a screensaver on my phone because right now I feel like we need it, if I can get rid of all the announcements. We need to, during this time, hold each other tight and continue to do the work, basically. It's hard work. And like you said, Tracie, we need to give ourselves breaks when we need it.
Yes.
And go fetal, or, I mean, I've had conversations with friends that have been very, very hard. Lots of tears, lots of even alcohol. It's been pretty bad. Yeah. Anyhow, parallels there, and I don't think it's getting worse. Have to keep that in mind. I think it's just that we're seeing it more.